Hello there, I'm Chef Johnny, and this is Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. Appreciate you stopping by. I tell you what, into summer, we're starting to roll into fall. That means deer season's going around, so we had to start cleaning out the freezer. Looked in there, and I found a nice venison backstrap that I hadn't cooked up yet off a little buck I harvested last season. So got that out, and we're going to show you how to make a bacon wrap backstrap stuffed with wild hog and cream cheese. A few days ago, I took these backstraps out of the freezer, let them thaw out in the refrigerator. Best way to thaw something else in the fridge. So I did that, and I put them in some ice water with apple cider vinegar and about a tablespoon of the rub we're going to use today, which is my coffee rub. And I will put a recipe in the description box down there. Click show more, and you'll be able to see that, that box, and it'll have the recipe here. But there's that one. This is the other part of that backstrap, and it's actually pretty clean. Got a little bit of silver skin along here I can pull off, but overall both of them look pretty good. And what we're going to do with these today is they are going to get bacon wrapped, but I'm going to stuff this backstrap. And when I stuff one, a lot of people do it different ways. I do kind of a T. I take my knife and I cut down maybe 3/4 of the way right down the middle of it. I don't want to go all the way through. Then once I do that, I open it up. See if I can let y'all see this. And I cut toward the other side. Again, not cutting all the way through. And this wasn't a real big buck, this one I shot here. It was a smaller one, so it's not just a huge piece of meat here. So it's not going to take a lot of stuffing either. But we're going to cut down in here. And now that's opened up pretty good. I'm going to set this one out of the way so we can deal just with this one. So it went a little bit too deep in a couple of spots, but that's going to be all right. Bacon's going to hold all the seasonings in. Now we're going to make up the stuffing. Let me set this to the side. Come over here. And what I've got is I have some wild hog sausage that I cooked up. It's probably less than a half a pound. I'd say about 6 ounces maybe of wild hog sausage. And I pre-cooked it. And the reason I pre-cooked it is sausage has to be cooked to 155 degrees. These backstraps we're going to pull off about 130, 135. So I wanted to make sure that this was pre-cooked all the way through before going in. So there went in my wild hog sausage, and I will put a link to the recipe for this wild hog sausage also. I've got about a 1/4 cup of diced onion that's been sauteed already. Wanted it nice and soft. I didn't season up that sausage. It's well seasoned, so I didn't put any seasoning on it. I just cooked it. But right now I'm going to come in and I'm going to sprinkle some of my coffee rub on it. Coffee rub's coming in. And the last item we're going to put in is some cream cheese. So I just have one package of cream cheese. I think it's an 8-ounce package. I'm going to open it up, drop it in. Add a little bit of my coffee rub up to this cream cheese on top of it. And I'm just going to take a fork and I'm just going to work this cream cheese into this meat. It's important that you take your cream cheese out a little bit early and let it start softening up. Makes this part of the job a whole lot easier. Stuffing's ready to go. Move it back to the side. Bring my backstrap back out here. What I'm going to do is take it off the board for a second. Go ahead and dry this board off. I'm going to line this with bacon. Now these pieces of bacon, what I'm going to do is if you look at bacon, there's always one end thicker and one end thinner. I'm going to alternate these pieces of bacon so that they go thick to thin so I can get a solid covering on here. Let's lay our backstrap right on top. Take some of our stuffing. And I'm just going to Put it kind of right in the center of that back strap. This was a pretty young buck I shot last year. It's been real tasty so far. This is the bigger side, so I can get a little more stuffing in it. Other side's not quite as big. There's our stuffing inside of our back strap, and I'm just going to take my bacon and roll it over. Got some of the stuff I want to come out this end, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this up a little bit, lay that down there, and put a piece on the end to hold that stuffing in. Trying to decide if I need to, probably want her to do it on this end either. Ready to go, so I'm just going to roll it on up. It's a pretty little package. Let me clean my hands off, show you the next step. Next thing I'm going to do is take my all-purpose seasoning. This is just an all-purpose barbecue rub I have, and I'm going to sprinkle it across the top. And all this is going to do is layer flavors. You always want to layer flavors when you're cooking, so this is layering it up. I'm not going to worry about doing the bottom of this bacon, but I want to get the sides. And that's what it looks like. Let me get this other one done, and then I'll show you how I get them on the grill. Before I put this in the pit, I'm going to put my meter in it. Don't know if you've ever seen these before. They are wonderful. They are a totally wireless thermometer. I love this. It gives me not only the meat temperature, but it gives me the pit temperature also. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the smaller of the two. Try to get it down in there where it's toward the center. And we're going to take these to about 130, 135 degrees, then we'll get them off. I've got the pit already set up. Let me show you how we did that. Here's the pit. We're going to do it on my Lion grill tonight. Y'all have seen me use this Lion grill a lot. And I tell you what, I want to get some smoke on it. So we're going to take this, put it right next to my smoking tube. In that smoking tube, I have some Jack Daniel's pellets. We filled that up, lit them up, so it's going to give us some smoke in here. I have my fire on this side over here. We're going to be cooking around 250 degrees and see if we can smoke up these back straps to perfection. So let's close it up, let them cook. We're going to check these. They've been going about an hour. And they're looking pretty. You see they're browning up nice. Everything's looking good. They're getting some smoke on them. They are doing fine. So I'm going to close them back up. Let them go for a while. While we got that meat cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make the sauce for it. Turn on my portable burner here. There we go. I'm going to take a red wine that I have here. It's a Texas wine. And I'm going to pour about half a bottle in here. There we go. Let that start reducing down. Put that over to the side. Be careful. You could get a flare up if you weren't careful, so be careful with that. But I'm going to take that wine and about a cup of beef stock. Let those start cooking. Let them reduce down. And then we're going to add them to some other ingredients we got. We're going to reduce these first. Got my skillet heating up. Moved my my wine and my broth to a back burner over here. And we're going to start sauteing up some vegetables. Got about a quarter stick of butter. I'm going to drop that in there, let it start melting. Take long to start melting, did it? Good and hot. Top of that, I'm going to drop some onion. Probably a whole onion. So red onion is what I had. I don't think it'd make a whole lot of difference. Turn the fire down. We're pretty hot. Let this cool some. Start getting these tender. And those are looking about tender, so drop in those mushrooms. And they were a package of sliced mushrooms, and then I just chopped them up a little bit more. I want to have a little chunk to this. If they're too big, I'll just take my spoon and chop them a little bit more. We're going to cook down these mushrooms, get them to render out their juices, and then we're going to set that to the side. And when we pour our wine and our stock on top of it, it's going to incorporate with the flavors of these mushrooms and the juices that they've released also. So it's going to be very, very flavorful sauce we're making here. Our meter says that this bottom one, or this smaller one, is done. It's at 135 degrees. So I'm going to take it, pull my meter out of it. We'll put it into the bigger one. There we go. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it just right over the top of the fire to crisp up that bacon a little bit. And all we're doing is crisp. We got some nice color. The smoke from our Jack Daniel's pellets are looking good on there. Put it on that side for a little. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. And we're just crisping the bacon is all we're doing. It is at temperature, so I'm going to take it off, let it rest a little bit, and we're going to let this other one go till it gets to 130, 135 degrees also. These onions and mushrooms are ready to come off. Take them, and I'm just going to put them in my bowl here. Set that to the side. Going to make a roux so we can thicken up our sauce. Now we're going to make a roux. Drop in about a quarter stick of butter. Let that start melting down. Have my whisk. It's got a rubber whisk to go in my cast iron. Now on our melted butter, I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of flour. And if you do a blonde roux, a tablespoon will make all thicken about a cup of sauce. Now I have my stock in my wine. I'm going to go back in on top. Pour that in. And we are going to mix that in real good. Make sure all the lumps are gone. Going to add in my mushrooms and my onions. Stir those into my sauce. And again, we're just layering flavors in here. I'm going to take some garlic. Shake in a little garlic. This is just granulated garlic. A little black pepper. I don't think I'm going to need any salt because there was plenty of salt in that base that I used on the beef stock. Oh yeah, that's good. Now it needs a little Worcestershire sauce in it. Give me a couple of good dashes of Worcestershire. This sauce needs a little bit of salt. Sprinkle that in. And I can tell you this, 9 out of 10 times if you taste something, you go, boy, that's needing something. It's either salt or acid, one or the other. Now, the small ones will be sitting the longest, so I'm going to take it, put it on the cutting board first. It does have some beautiful color to it. Been sitting for a while. I'm going to go right in between two, that's a good place to slice it, right in between 2 slices of bacon. So when you cut your medallions, that's a good place to go. So here we go. Let's open this up for you. And that is looking pretty on the inside. That is going to be a nice medium rare. Between there and medium. Let's just cut off this whole medallion right here. Oh, that is lovely. Look at that. My, my, my. Tonight, this is how we're going to serve this up. I am going to take a warm cast iron skillet. That way everything stays nice and warm. And I'm going to put some of the sauce down on the skillet. And these are just my fajita trays, is what they are. But I'm going to use them for the presentation tonight. It's going to go there. Then I am going to take these medallions to there. Put this one up on edge. So that's the way it's going to be. Take it inside. I'm going to have some nice green beans to go on there and some potatoes to go with it. But that's the way the medallions are going to be presented tonight. Let's give one of these a taste. These are just beautiful. They're sitting in that wonderful wine and mushroom sauce. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut that one in half. I won't eat it all at one time. Cut it in half. This deer meat, if you look at it, it's nice and pink. It's between medium rare and medium. It's got the moisture in it. It's got the flavor in it. That wild hog sausage with the cream cheese and onions. It's coming through on the back end. You have that crispness of your bacon. All that together. Sitting on top of that mushroom and wine sauce, let me tell you, this is 5-star elegance. This is a fantastic meal. If you don't have venison or you don't like venison, cook this meal with a beef loin. Cook it with a pork loin. This sauce will work great with that. Either way, the presentation, everything will go with whatever kind of loin you want to use. But this came out tremendous. So thanks for stopping by Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. I appreciate it. Tell everybody, hey, they're cooking up deer meat over there. Let them know what kind of stuff we're doing. We have a lot of different dishes for you. We got a lot of barbecue. We got a lot of Dutch oven, a whole lot of different things. Just remember to subscribe to my channel, please. Always remember to give me that thumbs up. Tell your friends and family about us. And we're going to see y'all down the road on Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine.
How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.